Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our December 10th, 2025 meeting of the Topsfield Conservation Commission. I do have to read something before we get started. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2022 and H.62 as amended by S.2506, this meeting public hearing will be conducted by a remote means. Members of the public who wish to access the meeting may do so in the following manner. For a Zoom meeting, see connections information below. And for video conference and for information for calling in by phone. Specific information in the general guidelines for remote videotape conference and by calling in. Oh, I'm all messed up tonight. Participation by members of the public and or parties with the right or requirement to attend this meeting may be found on the Topsfield website at topsfield-ma.gov. You may also reach out to conservation at conservation@topsfield-mass.gov or by calling in by 978-887-1510 for information. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted and or public participation in any public hearing conducted during this meeting shall be by remote means only. I'd like to start the meeting by saying all of us from the Conservation Commission wish everyone a very healthy and happy holiday season and a very happy new year. And we will see you again on it's what, the 15th? No, the 14th of January, 2026. All right, we'll start tonight's meeting by the first hearing, which is going to be postponed at the request of the hearing people. It's RDA 2025-08, 35 Rear Main Street and 15 School Street, map 41, lot 133 and 131. It's the Topsfield Garage, LLC Hancock Associates, request for construction of an unpaved stone dust walk path. The applicant has requested a continuance because of the project team is still finishing the application. So we need to have a vote on that.
I'll make a motion that we continue the hearing for RDA 2025-08 at 35R Main Street and 15 School Avenue to our January 14th, 2026 meeting.
I'll second that motion.
And how do we vote? Doug Chamroth, aye.
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Okay. Well, hopefully see you in January. The next is an NOI 307-0866 30 Cadbury Hill Road, map 19, lot 67, Quay and Godyard Consulting LLC, after the fact construction request of a retaining wall. Now, do we need to read the, we do not have enough people on our board in attendance tonight.
I don't have the legal notice to read. I was looking over.
Oh, you don't have it any. Well,
Was
I'm
it?
reclusing myself
really?
from this meeting.
Let me see if I can find the legal notice. So the
We
thing
need to
here,
read that before we vote on it.
the thing here, I guess, to inform the
Pardon? I can't quite hear you.
applicant is that we have one member recusing on this matter and one who's absent, so we don't have enough to grant a waiver request. So I think let's open the hearing. Let's discuss whether we want to have any discussion on this. But we won't be able to grant the waiver tonight.
Or vote on the waiver.
Yeah, let me see.
So,
Yeah, I looked through the ones that got sent out for this month and last month, and I don't see the notice in either one.
Huh.
But
So
Let's see
to
if I
the
can
chair,
find
I understand if there's a member not able to attend, do we know that we will have a full quorum at the January 16th meeting?
no, there's no way of knowing if everyone will be healthy and able to come. I can't promise you that.
Oh, okay. I guess so. Then there's a presumption that they're planning on attending.
yes,
Okay.
All of us are
Um,
every meeting.
if that's the case, I guess I would leave it to the chair in terms of if that member would want to be here for the discussion or whether or not they just want to review the recorded meeting and the minutes and allow them to vote at the next meeting. I think I'd leave it up to you because you probably know them best in terms of if you think they would prefer to be here for that discussion, just because it is a sensitive discussion. We appreciate
Yes.
your forbearance in this matter.
Well, Jackie, I can leave some of it up to you. I would assume our member who's missing would certainly like to
Yeah, I mean, first
weigh in
thing,
on this.
I do think it's the right call to open the hearing. I just don't have the notice in front of me. Any
Yeah,
luck,
I'm
Jackie?
sorry. I thought Sue had sent out all the notices,
I
but
thought
maybe
she did
because
on
this one
Monday.
was a weird one.
She sent out for Hill Street and Prospect Street. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the
Oh,
email.
just those two.
And it could be
Um,
that she had sent it out for the last time, but I don't see it.
I don't
because this
see
was-
it on last month's either,
Yeah,
because I
let me
think the
see,
problem
should have a
was that it
copy
didn't
of the
run.
ad.
I
I know
can,
it was definitely ordered.
let me,
Yeah, I should have the email from Salem News.
mm,
Oh,
Okay, I think I found it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, first order of business is we have to open the hearing and then we can discuss the next moves, I think.
Okay, I can pull it up.
um,
Okay. How about I'll read the legal notice because I have it here.
Okay, thank you.
A public hearing will be held via remote participation through video and or audio conference Wednesday, November 12th at 7 p.m. or time cases reached to consider the notice of intent for after the fact construction of retaining wall and buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetland at 30 Canterbury Hill Road, map 19, lot 67. Applicant Koki. This is accordance with requirements of MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, and Topsfield General Wetlands Bylaw Chapter 62. Meeting participation instructions will be listed on the meeting agenda, posted with the town clerk a minimum of 48 hours prior to the meeting date, or contact conservation at topsfield-ma.gov. Susan Winslow.
and I assume you got a butter receipt.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, here we are, folks. I mean, we feel that Maureen should be here. We don't know why she isn't tonight.
Well,
And we don't know quorum. That's all there is to it.
yeah, our bylaws require that for granting a waiver, we need 4 members in approval. And so even though we have a quorum to do some business, this piece of business we are unable to act on tonight. I personally, though, would like to try and schedule a site visit if it's possible between potentially now and our next meeting. I know that Jackie's been able to come to the site, but if any other members would be able to, I think that it would be helpful.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think it would be, I'm sorry to speak out of turn, but because of the extensive history with this, and so they're not doubling duty, it just seems like we probably shouldn't get too far in the weeds on this application if the representative is okay with that, and if we were to continue this, just do it all at that next meeting, because one person whose benefit, from hearing you is not here, because we're gonna need their vote on this, so it just doesn't, I don't think it makes sense for us to go into this. I know you're prepared to do a presentation, but that's my opinion only, so.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement. I'd prefer if Maureen was here, that she would be one of the 4 that would be able to vote on this. But I think for the sake of continuing to make a little bit of progress, we can discuss either scheduling something or afterwards we can have Jackie scheduled by email.
So to the chair, it's at your pleasure for
Yes.
scheduling a site walk. We'd be glad to accommodate whatever you're able to work out. We definitely would like to have the members that are able to vote on the waiver to be able to attend the site walk, because we do think it's important to see what's there and to understand what we're proposing. So I think that'll be great to have that before the meeting in January. And again, I think I do agree with you that in terms of our presentation, it's best to have all the members present and actively participating rather than watching a presentation and not being able to actually engage in the discussion. So
Yeah, I would
at
say
this
all
point, Yeah, and then at
Mm.
this point, I think we would appreciate a continuance to the January, I believe, 16th hearing.
Sure.
And at your pleasure to schedule a site walk, and we will accommodate the date and time to have staff to walk the site with you.
We'll try our hardest, but you must know that most of our members have jobs.
Understood. Understood.
Yeah.
I totally understand. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a scheduled vacation already.
Yep.
Oh, right, right. Oh, no, we'll check on that. Okay, no problem with that. All right, so we'll see you in January then.
Well, I think we have to make a motion.
Yeah, I know
um,
we have to
yeah.
make a motion, but I
Oh,
was just talking.
sorry.
specifically. That's all right. Go ahead. Yeah.
So, and I just wanted to, because you had mentioned the 16th, it's actually on the 14th. So is
Oh,
that an
sorry.
issue?
Oh,
No,
14.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, there you are.
I misheard you. So I'm requesting a continuance to the January 14th
Yes,
hearing with a site walk to be scheduled by Jackie in the meantime. Thank you.
Okay, I will make that motion that we continue notice of intent 307-0866 for 30 Canterbury Hill Road, map 19, lot 67, Koki Goddard Consulting LLC, to our January 14th, 2026 meeting.
I'll second that motion.
and how do we vote? Dodd Shamrock, aye.
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Okay, then we'll see you on the 14th of January.
Or sooner at the site walk. Thank you.
Oh, yes, that's true. Okay, and happy holidays.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, next we have at 307-0870 Hill Street, map 56, and I stapled right over the NOI part of it. Map 56, lot 1, SD DeRosa Environmental Consulting, request to demolish portion of a current dwelling and construct additional patio, walkway, retaining walls, and repaved driveway. Remove shed. We have a legal notice to read on this.
Yep. A public hearing will be held via remote participation through video and/or audio conference Wednesday, December 10th, 2025 at 7 p.m. to consider the notice of intent for demolition of portions of home, construction of addition, walkway, patio, retaining walls, repaved driveway, shed removal in buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetland at 3 Hill Street, map 56, lot 001, applicant Estes. This is in accordance with the requirements of MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, and Topsfield General Wetlands Bylaw Chapter 62. Meeting and participation instructions will be listed on the meeting agenda, posted with the town clerk a minimum of 40 hours prior to the meeting date, or contact conservation at topsfield-ma.gov. Susan Winslow, Salem News, December 1st, 2025.
Good. And a butter notices, Jackie, would you ever receive?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And is there someone from DeRosa Environmental who will be telling us about this project?
Yes, good evening. Evan Benderin of DeRosa Environmental, here representing the SDs for their proposed improvements to a single-family home.
Good.
If it's okay, I'll share my screen.
Sure.
Okay, so we did get a file number, and at this time there are no technical comments from DEP, but the file number is 307-0870. And I want to start the presentation just by orienting where the site is. So the project is at 3 Hill Street,
Mhm.
and it's across from Wheaton Hill, the sledding hill that's right off of Route 1. And in the back, I guess it's the western corner of the property, there's a bordering vegetated wetland associated with an intermittent stream.
Mhm.
So I'll jump over to the site plan here. So there are a lot of project elements that are happening at this site, but most of them are actually occurring outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. So you can see here, this blue colored here is the delineated BVW. And then this green line is the 100-foot buffer zone. So the addition, the driveway improvements, the stormwater management features, the septic system leach fields, all of that is actually happening outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. And we were able, well, due to the position of the dwelling, we were able to keep most of the project elements up towards the boundary of this 100-foot buffer zone. So it's really as far from the wetland
Good.
as we can. So the pieces that are within the 100-foot buffer zone involve a permeable bluestone patio, which is going to go here. And that's going to replace what was an existing deck. They're going to put a little retaining wall here and then steps down to grade to meet another little patio. They're going to have roof leaders off of the dwelling, and that'll direct water through underground pipes to a stormwater management feature that's been designed by Griffin Engineering. That'll be up here. They're also going to put like utilities, like a compressor. They'll be doing a little bit of grading just to make sure that they can have a flat surface for the patio. There's
Huge.
little retaining walls just for an extra feature with the grading and the hardscape and landscape plan. And really that's about it. They're doing a wood fence over here. In a minute, I'll flip to the landscape plan. But they're going to be doing like a grove of evergreen trees over here. There's an existing shed that has really overgrown ornamental plantings here that they want to actually remove, and they're not going to put the shed back. So that'll be an improvement to the buffer zone, getting rid of that area. And then we're going to do this whole green area as a pollinator meadow. And that's been designed by Bruce Sherwood. So, and then there's this smaller native planting area here. So in total, we're going to do 1,850 square feet of native plantings. And I think there's a table on this plan. Yes. So we're increasing, I guess, structures in the, although pervious, structures in the buffer zone by about 472 square feet. And then so we're compensating by planting 1,850 square feet of native planting. And I can jump to Rue's plan here to just show you what she's thinking. We have a mix of shrubs and herbaceous species that are going to go in this pollinator, or I guess in this area here. Shrubs and native species here, and then here's a whole list of grasses and herbaceous plantings in through here. So we have, looks like lobelia, geranium, milkweed. We have some New England asters, some zizia, some iris. And then here they're going to do some evergreen trees in here. And I just remembered, I forgot to point out that they have to remove this maple tree that's here, but it's very much dead. So they're going to plant at least 2 trees over here. So I think that compensates for the loss of canopy habitat over there. That's pretty much it. I can go into detail on any of the project elements if you have any questions. Happy to answer.
Does anyone have comments or questions about this?
No, this looks pretty good. Initially, when I saw limit of grading and it looked like it pointed to the blue line, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. But so that's mostly just right around the house.
Yep, so this dashed line here, that's kind of gray highlighted,
Okay.
that's the limit of the grading.
Okay.
Yep.
Is this all pretty much existing lawn, right?
It's all existing lawn
existing.
and existing structure here. So down here, it's all existing lawn. There's some ornamentals around the shed here that they're gonna remove. But then obviously that'll all be replaced by all this native pollinator species.
Okay.
And let's see.
Yeah, I'll also note that I observed that there's exposed soil at the edge of the buffer zone, which needs erosion controls as soon as possible.
Thank you,
Right.
Jackie. Yeah, I let the contractor know, and I believe he went out there today and put those up. I'll send a picture once we get that.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think this is very reasonable.
All right. Then I'm going to open it to the public for any comments. Anyone there who'd like to say anything about the property or doing what they're doing with it? Okay, then with Jackie, if you're finished, does someone want to make a motion?
So we need to close the hearing first.
Right.
So I'll make a motion that we close the hearing with respect to NOI 307-0870 for 3 Hill Street, map 56, lot 001.
I'll second that.
And how do we vote? Dodge Shamroth, aye.
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Ben, did you say aye? I know you mentioned your name. I made
Yes,
aye.
sorry.
Okay. All right, next motion.
I can make a motion that we issue an order of conditions for DEP number 307-0870 at 3 Hill Street, map 56, lot 001, not approving any wetland resource area boundaries, with the usual standard and special conditions, including the condition for monitoring reports to be submitted by November 1st for the fall mitigation planting installation, and for plants that do not survive to be replaced to ensure at least 80% survival rate after the 2-year monitoring report period.
Good.
I can second that motion.
Okay, and how do we vote on that? Dodge Shamroth, aye.
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Okay, so that sounds like a beautiful project. We're looking forward to maybe seeing pictures of it in this when you finish.
Yes, absolutely. And in the
Okay.
monitoring reports, we'll send some.
Okay, happy holidays to you.
Happy
Thanks for
holidays.
coming.
Thank you all.
Next, did we get an NOI for the 10 Prospect Street at all? Last minute one or anything?
So I'll check again, but I don't think we got a
No, I
DEP
checked
number.
this afternoon. Nothing
Oh,
showed
nothing.
up.
Okay, but I understand you'd like to tell us a little bit about it anyway? Is
Sure.
that correct?
Yep.
Let me open the hearing first then.
All right, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Legal, sorry about that.
No, all
I
good.
just saw that, I noticed the number and,
Yep. A public hearing will be held by remote participation through video and/or audio conference Wednesday, December 10th at 7 p.m. or time cases reached to consider the notice of intent for septic system repair and buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetland at 10 Prospect Street, map 40, lot 090. Applicant via Villiela. This is in accordance with the requirements of MGL Chapter 131, Section 40 and Topsfield General Wetlands Bylaw, Chapter 62. Meeting participation instructions will be listed in the meeting agenda posted to the town clerk a minimum of 40 hours prior to the meeting date, or contact conservation at topsfield-ma.gov. Susan Winslow, Salem News, December 1st, 2025.
okay,
All right. Bill Manuel from Wetlands and Land Management. Yes, unfortunately, we did not get a file number for this one, despite it being filed before the holiday, but that's what happens when we have a holiday in between these things. But I would like to have a discussion here because I'm here, I'm ready, and who knows, I may be double booked in January, and maybe we'll just, if I can't be available, it should be just a mop up. So let me share my screen. I feel like I've been all over this neighborhood. Last meeting, we just did 13 South Main Street, which is just basically 2 lots over.
oh, yeah.
We talked about this culvert here, Cleveland Brook, and the inlet to the culvert is right across the street from this, but The culvert's longer than 200 feet long, so the riverfront area stops at the culvert inlet and begins again at the culvert outlet. So even though it's piped, there is no riverfront area affecting this lot, just like over at 13 South Main Street. Again, this is a septic system upgrade. This site has a lot of environmental constraints. The easiest one to deal with, the 100-year flood zone is elevation 51.5. That's according to the July 2025 revised FEMA maps. And that is this red dashed line right through here. So you could see all but the front yard here is encumbered by 100-year flood zone. Look at where the wetland line is. When you see there's a line of shrubs here, I thought when I was in the field that the property line ran right along the driveway. So that's why I started here. Let me zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
I started right next to the driveway thinking that flag number 1 right here would be actually on the property line or just off the property line. But the wetland line runs directly along the paved driveway. There's a little landscaping bed here. It runs around this little landscape bed. What's not shown here, because the work is really concentrated at the front of the house, is there's a patio out on the back side of the house here. And these flags essentially run right along the patio. And as a matter of fact, between 8 and 9, they cut across a section of stone patio. So, this area is highly developed. Obviously, a site like this could not be developed today, but here it is. The backyard is maintained lawn up to, this area right in here. And, but it's all hydric soil and it's in the flood zone, and there are cattails right at the edge of the grass. So, this is, I would say, my best professional opinion of where the wetland boundary is, but I am certainly not looking for confirmation of these wetland flags. If they left the door unlocked, I might have had to put a few flags right through the basement and out the other side of the window there. But if we can move forward on this application and approve the septic system when we have a file number, I don't think we need to verify the wetland boundary. So the system's in the front yard. It is essentially the only place where this system can go. It's the only place where there's high ground on the property. It involves installing a new septic tank, and there's a new leaching field. We will need to put a little stone retaining wall along the edge of the driveway so that the grading doesn't basically encumber and block the driveway. Towards the street, it blends right in. It goes up to the level of the street, so the grading blends right into the grading for the Prospect Street embankment. But as I said, this is the only place we can go. We are losing one tree. It's a magnolia tree that was planted in the front yard, and in the backyard, there is a sort of a cultivar variety of a beech tree. It's sort of tall and straight and very thin. It's not branching like a native beech. Nevertheless, it is afflicted by the beech leaf disease, which is so pervasive now in Essex County. It is succumbing to that. It will die. The tree should not be there right next to the foundation anyway, and the owner wants to take care of this now, as long as we're in front of the Conservation Commission. So in compensation for that, there really is no place that a tree is going to fit on this property, because the front yard where the high ground is all encumbered by the leach field. Well, what I am suggesting is we give you a 3-to-1 ratio with wetland preferring shrubs, and I'm suggesting silky dogwoods. They'll do very well in saturated soil condition in the backyard. I'm suggesting that we plant 6 of them along the width of the backyard, right at the edge of the grass, right next to the cattails that are growing just off the grass, and they should do just fine there, and that would compensate for the loss of these 2 ornamental trees. So that's essentially the project. We're hoping that I'm certain we'll have a file number for the next meeting. But if the commission has any questions, we'd like to flesh them out tonight and get answers for you in time for the next meeting.
I just see a notation on the driveway repair, repave drive after construction.
Yep.
Is that,
Yep.
so that is proposed?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If any damage happens to the driveway as a result of the system installation, then, we certainly want the ability to repair that.
Do you anticipate repaving the whole thing? Or
Probably.
just?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that would be, under the Wetlands Protection Act, that would be an exempt activity, repairing in kind, or repaving in kind for a single-family home.
And it's asphalt right now?
It is.
Okay.
Yep, that sounds very reasonable to me, though. I mean, you have the erosion controlled notes there, so I think that's very reasonable. I think that the 3-to-1 replanting makes sense given the constraints of the space. I know the beech leaf disease is going to ravage this area. It's going to be a lot less trees than there were, and the system itself, this looks like the only place that it can reasonably go. So all makes sense to me.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, Jackie, I noticed you mentioned a pipe coming out of the back of the house somewhere.
Yeah, so there's a pipe that's leading into the wetland off to the side, which I think should be pulled back out of the vegetated area.
Do we know what the function of that pipe is?
Yeah,
I believe it's a roof leader. It's one of those 4-inch corrugated pipes, black plastic pipes.
Are
I
there
can
any
show a
photos
photo.
of the site?
Yeah, I'll show my photos if you don't
I'll
mind.
stop sharing.
okay.
Okay, so here's the photo showing the pipe that goes back pretty far into the wetlands area.
Oh, it's a black plastic pipe.
Yeah. So
Huh.
that needs to be
Does it have
Like a
anything to
sump
do
pump?
with
pulled
a
back.
humidifier?
Or a sump pump?
I thought, didn't it run to the front corner of the house, Jackie?
Yeah,
and
it was the front corner
connect-
of the house.
It looked like it had to do with the roof leaders.
Yeah, probably. But no matter what it is, I don't think it should be in the wetland. Let's see.
Well, that's something you can discuss with them, the owners, correct?
Yep, not a problem.
Yeah, there's also this big pile of yard waste that's in
Yeah.
kind of like the front side yard. And then here's a photo of that back patio. This is looking back out towards the wetland from kind of the side back corner of the
And the
house.
bush is gonna go along that short edge.
It would go back here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does it
You
make
can see
sense
the
to have any
wetland flag right
markers?
there. Sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Does it make sense to have any markers, especially where we have grass? I know it's a small area, but the rest of it's wetlands.
Yeah, I think it would. Yeah, probably a few in back, at least in front of the plantings.
Right.
Let's see, I think I had a photo of the tree to be removed in front. Yeah, so this is the tree, and then you can see the driveway back here, and then this is the area where the septic system would be.
What a shame. Seems like it was a pretty tree.
It is a nice magnolia tree. I bet it's beautiful in the springtime.
Magnolia can't be transferred somewhere else?
That size tree, they just don't transplant well, and plus there's no other place to put it on the site. It won't survive in the wet soil.
Okay. Just checking. If none of you have more questions, or Jackie, I'm gonna ask the public if they have any comments. Anyone from the public have any comments on this project? Okay, well, I guess obviously we can't vote on this, but we've at least gone over it.
Yeah, so I'd request a continuance to January 14th.
How do you feel about that? We need to take a vote on that.
I can make a motion that we continue the matter. Sorry, we don't have a number though, correct?
No.
Okay, so,
10
I will make,
Prospect Street,
yeah, I'll make a motion that we continue, the notice of intent on 10 Prospect Street, map 40, lot 90, Valella, Wetlands and Land Management to our January 14th, 2026 meeting.
I'll second that motion.
and how do we vote? Dodge Shamrock, aye.
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Well, we'll see you next year, Bill. Have a very
See you next
happy
year.
holiday season. Stay
Thank
well.
you. I have one more tonight, but everybody.
Oh, you do?
Happy holidays. Yes.
Okay, well, I'll wish it to you again.
Thank you.
Next, we have a request for return to compliance letter 152 Haverhill Road, map 5, lot 9, wetlands and land management. Oh, I see your lower coming right up.
And
cetera.
there we are. Yep.
Yep.
So folks on the commission will remember this one, 152 Haverhill Road. The owner wasn't aware of where his property boundaries were, did quite a bit of clearing around his small lot. It included, this is the property that's right next to the fuel station on Route 97. And probably I should pop up, I'll share my screen and show you the restoration plan that was approved. And so 152 Haverhill Street, this is where the filling station is. You can see it was a small lot. This is the property boundary. Work occurred in this tree clearing and brush clearing occurred in this intermittent stream ditch, which was a bylaw intermittent stream. It extended off site to 142 Haverhill Road. Work clearing and grading in riverfront area and buffer zone to BBW. And then a small amount of work in riverfront area on 148 Haverhill Street or Haverhill Road. If the commission will recall that the owners of 148 declined to have any restoration work done on their property, it restored naturally. This is the second report I'm giving you. And I reported last year that the small area had restored naturally anyway. The work was done, like I want to say late winter, early spring in 2024. And by the time the restoration plan was approved and we were getting around to doing the work in July 2024, this intermittent stream ditch had fully revegetated itself with profuse shrub growth. We came back before the commission and the commission allowed that portion of the restoration plan be omitted because it had already restored naturally. So what was left was this area on 142 Haverhill Road and then restoring the buffer zone / riverfront area on 152. So I did submit a report last year. We put a mix of shrubs and a seed mix here, New England wildlife and conservation mix here on 142. And then this area was seeded and eventually that's just restored itself to grass. And so last year it did very well. The owners or the respondent irrigated the plantings. And at the end of last year, we had like 95% survival of the shrubs. The herbaceous growth was stabilized the entire area. This year, the herbaceous growth, it looks more like a meadow this year. We've had the good second year of the seed mix, and there's a much more variety, a lot of flowering, wildflowers and such. It was very tall. We did have a droughty summer, and I only found about half of the shrubs that we had planted 2 growing seasons ago. And some of them, some more may have been there in the tall herbaceous growth, but I could not see them, find them. But as I noted in my report this year, the goal for the second year was not, we did not establish a percentage of survival of the shrubs. We were more concerned that the area was fully stabilized and beginning to naturalize on its own. And I submit that we have achieved that. And I have a couple of photos for you. So this is what it looked like. This is looking north. There's the fuel station. This is what it looked like at the end of the 2024 growing season. And this is what it looks like at the end of the 2025 growing season. So, you know, much more diverse herbaceous growth. It's about anywhere 3 to 4 feet tall when I was doing my assessment. Some of the taller shrubs you could see here in the foreground and in the background. They were easy to pick out, but some of the smaller ones, I did have to look for them. I did a diligent search, but I do suspect that quite a few of them succumbed to the drought this past summer. Here again, here's an opposing view looking south. This is what it looked like at the end of the 2024 growing season. And this is what it looks like at the 2025 growing season. So I did notice along the edges that we're starting to get incursions of staghorn sumac, black locust, blackberry, and raspberry. So as we suspected, with the help of the stabilizing growth, this area is beginning to naturalize on its own. We have 100% coverage. We took out, a couple of dump truck loads of debris from this spot. It was all nicely graded with loam at the beginning. So we have achieved our goals for restoring this area of riverfront. And because of that, we're here tonight asking you to issue a return to compliance letter for the enforcement order. Bear in mind that there is still an open order of conditions that was granted, some of it after the fact, some of it proposed work, and work is ongoing on regarding to the things that were approved in that order of conditions. And we probably have another season or two before we be back and requesting a certificate of compliance. But for now, we've done the planting work, the restoration work, the 2 growing seasons of monitoring work, and we hope the commission will see fit to issue us a return to compliance letter.
So I'll add to that on the site visit, we did observe some oil tanks and a grill and some other items in the wetland area, but those have since been removed, and Bill sent me photos showing the conservation markers being installed as well.
Okay. Too bad on the loss of the shrubs, or hopefully just that you didn't find them. I don't remember the specifics of the discussion in terms of what our goals are, but I think that, this does seem to be renaturalizing. Sounds like there's a lot of, woody, canopy things that are going to start to kind of crawl in from the edges over the next couple of years. So I think that the goal of restoring this area was completed, so I'm pretty happy.
I agree. I appreciate the effort. I really do.
Okay, so will someone make a motion?
I will make a motion, since I was the one that came up with the ugly orange fence idea. So I feel like I should at least do the effort. So,
I drove
that's
by that a lot.
so I will make a motion that we issue a return to compliance letter for 152 Haverhill Road, map 5, lot 9.
I'll second that motion.
And how do we vote? Shamrock, aye.
Jen DeCarlo, I.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Okay, last time tonight, happy holidays, Bill.
Thank you, David. You too, everyone. It was a pleasure
Yeah.
working with you this year.
Okay,
Thank you, Bill.
good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Now moving on to another enforcement order, we have 30 Canterbury Hill Road, map 19, lot 67.
Oh, wait, did you jump over 51 Asbury?
Did I? Hold on. The printer might not have printed it, or I might have folded it. I went for Canterbury. Oh, well, hold it. I got my paper back. Maybe I did. Prospect, return to compliance. Where was it?
Does anyone else see this on here, or am I crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the next item on my list.
The top of it was right at the bottom of the page, so maybe it got cut off.
The top was Hill Street on my page, and then it goes from compliance. It goes, we did prospect, and then we did compliance. And I go straight to other things. I
Yep,
get
it's in the other section.
Yeah, other enforcement 152, which we don't have any action on, and then enforcement enforcement
Oh, okay,
51
gotcha.
Asbury.
Okay, sorry. Whoops. Yep, I did that.
Okay.
So, all right, excuse me. Now we have an enforcement order for 51 Asbury Street, owners Troy and Sydney Turner. And Jackie, you should tell us about this one, I think.
Yeah, so I brought this up at our last meeting where someone had reported vegetation removal along the Ipswich River that was seen from the Audubon Sanctuary. I had sent a violation notice asking the homeowner to appear at our last meeting. And it seems like they didn't receive it in time. But we did talk. I did issue the enforcement order following our last meeting, and the commission had requested that they submit a restoration plan by January 31st. I talked to Troy, and I believe he's here and able to speak on this. But yeah, Troy, do you want to say a few words about it, about what happened?
Sure. Thank you, Jackie. I do want to apologize for not making the last attendance. My mail was not being forwarded to my current residence in Florida at that time. So had I have known, absolutely, I would have been there.
Okay.
I want to thank you for what you guys do. You guys do very important work, and I'm sorry to meet under these circumstances. I'm a new resident to 51 Asbury Street. At the final exchange with the prior owner, he kind of walked me through some of his processes of removing some vegetation just to enhance some of the water view at the property. He did explain to me that there is the Greenbelt land trustee that has an oversight of the property. Our property is divided into two parts, one that's not conserved and another portion that is conserved, and that's by the waterfront. I contacted Greenbelt, and I kind of explained what my thoughts were of what I would like to do by the river, that nothing would be removed, more of be pruned back. And they said that sounds kind of like in congruence with what we allow. You know, I kind of explained that really none of the shrubs were wider than the diameter of a thumb, really. So I kind of had their blessing, so I felt okay with that decision to move forward. And then I interviewed a landscaping company to help me who had done extensive work with conservation. They said in particular in Concord. So at this point in time, I thought I was doing everything appropriately. I wish I had known, or that had come up in conversation, of Topsfield Conservation Commission, as well as river setbacks. That was, it hit me like a ton of bricks when I got the enforcement order. I felt terrible. I have a nonprofit in Florida that I operate. It's 84 acres and 99% of it is conserved. And that was after we took stewardship over the property. So I take this very seriously. And I'm sorry that I'm in this situation, but I've been in communication with Hancock Associates, and I certainly want to put a solid mitigation plan together that can appease you guys and help restore it to its prior condition. If anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Just for the record, could you just introduce yourself and like
Just say,
just
For
say your
the-
name and like
yeah, just say your name.
represent the property, just for the like the sake of formal record keeping.
Sure. Yes. My name is Troy Turner. My wife is Sydney Turner, and we are both the property owners of 51 Asbury Street, Topsfield, 01983, Massachusetts.
Thank you.
thank you, yeah.
Certainly.
Gotta have one nitpicker on the group right now.
I know. I'm sorry. It's always I feel bad. I just like having
No,
the list of.
formalities. I get it.
It's how it should be.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Jackie,
But this-
could you potentially pull up some of the photos just so that we can kind of? Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
Yeah, I'll show
Yep.
you. So I'll
We
show you the
kinda need that.
before photo first, which was submitted by I think the person who observed the violation.
Because I guess what I'm, and I might just be misremembering from it being a month since I've seen these photos, but I
Mhm.
feel like it looked like there was a lot more than just kind of pruning back of things that were thumb sized. And that's not to say that I don't believe that that's what happened. It's just like based on the information that we were presented in the last meeting, that's kind of not the way that I had seen it.
I feel like I've seen that photo before.
Yeah,
Yep,
this
we
was
did.
last
I
meeting.
showed it last time.
Oh, no wonder, okay.
But just to remind everyone, so the
Right.
part on the left here is 51 Asbury. The side on the right is Mass Audubon property.
Mhm.
So over here is the area in question. I don't know if you can see
Yeah.
my cursor, but on the left.
Yeah.
And then photo after is here. So you can see this branch
Yes,
within both photos
Mhm.
for comparison of yeah, but you can see there's a lot of areas cleared of vegetation around these trees right up to the river almost.
So I understand with the density that it does look jarring, and I agree, like that is shorter than what I would have personally chosen. It was kind of miscommunication as far as hiring a landscape company, being intermittently in Topsfield and Florida. And it certainly is not a height that I would have personally chosen. That I do take full ownership of that. And I know as far as the density goes, it looks like that there would be items that are thicker. A lot of it was small shrubs that are narrow at the top, then open up on top and have vines growing all throughout them. A lot of it was vined. The landscape company said that there was a lot of common blackthorn, a lot of tree of heaven, like a lot of kind of species that he would typically remove from projects when he's working on conservation. So I do agree that it is a jarring before and after, but a lot of that growth wasn't trees per se, really mostly shrubs that were not very big that were just kind of filled in with other vines.
Yeah, no, and I didn't mean to come across that I didn't believe you. It's just like you said, this was a very jarring pair of photos that we were presented with.
yeah.
Certainly.
And so you said there were, and so no trees came down. In one of the photos, it does look like there's a stump, but was that stump already like existing there before the work was done? Or maybe is that not a stump? Like just wondering. Like so, it definitely only thumb size or smaller that came down.
Yeah. So in this area, in this photo, there's no trees that were removed.
Okay.
Now on the actual property, on the parcel that doesn't have there's the two pieces of property. One is the riverside one, and then one is the actual parcel where the property exists. There were two cedar trees that were removed. It's kind of up the bank a little bit. and it looks like potentially it could fall in that 200-foot range from the river. Hancock will be doing a delineation map to try to determine where exactly that is. I have a report from the arborist stating that that those 2 cedars had cedar rust and were removed. But as far as that photo goes, that was nothing close to where those 2 trees were. And in that area, trees were not removed. And the landscape company continuously explained that they would not be able to do any of the removals, which I didn't want, but they seemed to have an idea of what they could and what they couldn't get away with in terms of removing for conservation purposes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
There were down trees though. I must say as they started to clear, there was some old down trees that might look like maybe they were cut back, but I assure you that there were not.
Okay. Yeah. No, and I believe you. I think that you hopefully have a really good opportunity here to create a really nice landscape down there with some replacement plantings. And so I look forward to seeing a restoration plan, I think. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. So thank you for answering my questions.
Certainly,
Yeah,
Andrew.
I guess something else to add is if those 2 cedar trees you mentioned turned out to be within the riverfront area, I think we'd like to see tree plantings of some species of native tree in exchange for cutting them down, because that's what we normally require if there's a tree removal permit.
Absolutely. I would say regardless in the 200 feet or not, I will certainly put some new plantings in.
Thank you.
Well, we will see those.
Jackie, were you able to get over there to see everything? Or are you basing it on the photos?
So I went out there and took my own photos.
Okay.
I think that second photo, no, that was the photo from someone else, but I went out there and confirmed that it looked just like the photo, and I took my own photo, but it looked basically the same, but with worse lighting. So it looked exactly like what I showed you. Yeah.
So is the idea
I
at this
haven't been
point?
on the property because I didn't have permission, but maybe it would be good to do a site visit once we have that
Certainly
restoration.
available to anytime you're out and it's an old home. It needs a lot of tender loving care, so we're putting a lot of attention to the house right now and restoring it. But there's always someone there at the property that can let you on. So whenever convenient, if you need, just pop on through.
Great, thank you.
Certainly.
So Jackie, would you like to see some kind of a plan? Or
Yeah, so we already required the restoration plan
all right, I can.
to be submitted by January 31st, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's our submission date for the February meeting, correct?
Right, yeah,
Okay.
that's probably why we chose that date, because it would be our submission deadline for the February meeting.
Yeah. Does that
Okay.
sound like a reasonable amount of time for you and your consultants to pull a plan together?
He stated that should be possible. I guess I'm a little bit concerned with some of the back and forth that I've had, that I might need to reach out to somebody to ensure that it can get done. I'll get it done regardless.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to pushing it out another month now that you've been here, and it sounds like we have a good chance of making
Yeah,
good
if
progress
March
on
is
this.
easier, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'm happy to extend it out another month if that will just alleviate any concerns that you have.
I agree.
Okay, that would
Alternatively, during our January meeting, you could say, actually, we're going to need another month, and we can move it then. It's up to you.
Okay, I'll plan on coming on to that meeting. And I'll let you guys know if I need more time, but I'm gonna try to get this in.
Oh,
So
thanks. That would be appreciated.
of course. No, and I'm sorry that this happened, and I definitely want to make it right. And thank you for what you guys do. I do appreciate you guys.
Oh, yeah, we're all volunteers and we try to get things according to the bylaws and so forth, the Topsfield. We try to uphold them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, then do we have any anything other than we'll see you next month?
Yeah, I don't think we need any action on this
Okay.
month.
Happy
right.
holidays, right?
Thank you,
Pardon?
man. You too. I appreciate it. Thank you for
Okay.
hearing me.
All right,
And
happy
spoil your line,
holidays.
Dots.
Yeah. Take care.
All right.
All right,
thank
take care.
you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Sure. All right, now moving on to 30 Canterbury Hill Road, map 19, lot 67.
No action needed on that one. I just left that on in case anything came up with our
Right,
discussion
right.
of the notice of intent.
Okay. So next we have an enforcement order for 38 Candlewood Drive, map 43, lot 2. And tell us about that, Jackie.
Yeah, so just a quick update. I visited the site recently and observed the grass had grown in on that slope. It was a very steep slope behind their backyard fence where there had been fill in the form of yard waste that had been dumped there for many years. There was like a mesh barrier that they used to hold in the slope while they planted the grass seed, and I had asked them to try and pull that out as much as possible. They said they got some of it out, but not all of it, unfortunately, because the grass had grown in. So I think we'll just
I
have
can
to monitor
imagine.
that the next few years, and as we required them to do, make sure that plants are still able to grow back. I was just a bit concerned that the mesh, it's not great leaving it in the ground if it's plastic, but also worried that it might inhibit the growth of larger plants,
Mhm.
which we eventually want. But I kind of pulled out it does seem like it's pretty flimsy, so hopefully at least plants will be able to grow back, but it's too bad that they couldn't get it out of the ground. But at least the slope is stable and the grass is fully grown in. So
Yeah.
we'll keep an eye on it.
Too bad. Maybe that's another thing that we should consider adding to standard conditions is that like any type of netting needs to be decomposable temporary netting or just something like
Yeah,
that.
that's a good
I know that
point.
I'm pretty sure we said the type of, I think it was jute netting.
We did, and they
They
didn't
didn't
end up
listen.
using that.
So I'm not sure that we can't do anything about it at this point, but I guess
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
bad.
what we could do is during the growing season, we could have them rip it all out again and do it over, but
I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like,
Yeah.
let's just move on.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
the
if you
idea.
think it's flimsy enough that there's a good chance that stuff will be able to one day make it through, I'm okay with it. It's too bad, but it is what it is.
yeah, we'll have to watch it and see how it does.
Yeah, maybe try and in the springtime go take a look to see if there's bigger stuff that's trying to fight through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, moving on, we had the amended order for 2016-125 and 20 rear Johns Lane, map 76, lot 4. And another one is for order 2022-0425 Johns Lane, map 76, lot 4. And another one is for order 2024-4 Johns Lane, map 76, lot 4 for status updates on all three, please.
Yep, so I got a brief report from Ray Lawton. He said that the dirt was delivered for like loam and seeding that area, but it was frozen, so he was not able to get that done, but plans to do it next week. So it is past the deadline, but I think we may as well wait until next meeting to discuss.
Yeah.
Once I've been out there and seen how it looks.
Was it paved? That was the last?
Yeah, there was a
the
whole list
paving
of
was
stuff.
separate from the enforcement matter.
But it enabled his actions to move forward, right?
Yeah, so he just got it paved, I believe. I wasn't able to make it out the day that he was paving, but
Okay.
I'm wanting to follow up and look at that too. But
That
that's
enabled him to remove the driveway behind the house, I thought, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember we had to like go month by month basically with this to like work through it. So I can't find my notes on exactly what that month by month was. I suppose I can pull up the minutes. Oh no, we
Yeah,
don't have
so
minutes for that meeting yet.
for December, it was
Yes, we did.
stabilizing the site for winter and restoring, or not really restoring, but just removing like the gravel like behind the house and covering that with hay and seed. It's the plan.
Okay.
And then for January, the as-built is due. I just received that today, but haven't had a chance to compare it to the plan. But we can talk about that on January and have more of a discussion.
Okay.
There was one other thing that was due in January, and also monthly reports.
Okay.
So was the gravel removed from behind the house or no?
He didn't say, so I'll have to see when I go on site.
All right. See what it looks like in January once you're able to get out there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're muted, Jen.
If you want accompaniment, just reach, out by
Yeah.
email.
Okay.
And we can accompany you.
Yeah.
All right.
That would be a good idea. No one's home, it's a long road and so forth.
Yeah, I guess anything else on that, or
Pardon?
were there any other questions on that?
No.
No, it
not
sounds
for
like
me.
some stuff the deadlines have already passed on some stuff that we set, but I mean, if the ground's frozen, I get it. There's not much, it's hard to work. So let's just hope that there's a little, I guess I don't hope that things thaw because it shouldn't thaw this time of year. But anyway,
Winter came early.
yeah. So yeah, I think I'm fine getting a more robust update in January once you've been out there, or a couple of us have been out there. Yeah, I just want this over with.
Really? How much older are we all since it started?
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on. We have a buffer zone waiver request worksheet.
Yeah, so I know Maureen had thoughts on this, so I think we should probably wait until she's back.
Okay.
And Maureen and I had been in touch with each other. We just haven't, reconnected about trying to work on the regulations. I'm sure this will kind of get scooped up in that once we carve out some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that we want to redo a big portion of the regulations. A couple of the regulations, like the requirement of 4 people for the waiver, does it make any sense to try and make a couple like immediate changes that just like facilitate that for the next couple meetings, or I don't know how long it's going to take to redo these regulations, right? It might be this time next year that we actually are able to really vote on something. And another year going by of us having these difficulties of always having 4 people for waivers. I don't know if it makes any sense to try and just
In
like.
addition to that, Andrew, if you recall, for ages, there were only 3 of us.
I know. And so like
And we got through waivers somehow. So where did this 4-person?
I guess we just weren't technically abiding by the regulations.
Yeah. So I think yes. I mean, I think we could just address the waiver provision, clean it up. I think that would
Well,
be.
I don't even know that we need to clean up. I just want to change the number 4 to quorum.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I think the waiver is not functional as it is drafted. So, I mean, that's,
But that's still a much larger drafting effort than changing that line so that.
definitely.
I agree.
So I guess what we'd have to give notice to the public that we're going to alter our regulations and
Why couldn't we vote on that tonight?
Because we have to give notice that we're going to change them.
We have to
Yeah,
at least put it on the agenda as
Right.
like agenda item, like vote to change regulations.
Yeah. And again, I just like that one
No.
little thing, I think
It
will at least
doesn't make any
facilitate.
sense to me. No sense
I agree, but that's
whatsoever.
the way it's written is my understanding.
Well, then we're going to rewrite it.
Yeah.
But in terms of revising the regulations, is that just a quorum that's needed at a meeting once it gets published?
Yes, just a
Okay.
quorum.
So, I mean, arguably, we could right now, like, propose adding this to our next agenda to
Right.
modify the waiver provision in the regulations to require, um, a quorum
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
waiver, as long as it's not violating some DEP or some other, you know, requirement for a
Jen,
waiver, but.
for several years, there were only three of us.
Well, I don't think people were coming to us with waiver requests. I think,
I
I
can't
mean, I could
recall, I
literally,
mean,
I could think of
exactly,
like
but
2 or 3 going way, way back.
Right.
yeah.
You
But I think
know?
we also somewhat discovered through this process that there are a lot more things that require waivers based on the way they're written, right? And we
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
kind of had been pushing that to the side a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly the applicants are not bringing it to our attention.
And I'm yep, 100%. So I don't know. That's just my opinion that like spot checking that I think will facilitate the next couple meetings
It-
in preparation for us doing a bigger redraft.
I'm completely in favor of that.
I don't think anyone from the public will be upset that we're trying to do business.
Yeah, yeah.
No, because these people are trying to get things done.
I know, and it happened again tonight that we couldn't vote on something.
No,
Um,
I mean,
So,
I had
yeah,
to recuse myself.
yep.
So
But
I
that
guess,
still left, that still left three of you.
Yeah.
It was a shame.
Yep.
I mean, it's not that bad.
Well, I know it is what it is. It's just
Bad tonight. But anyway, okay, so can we add that to the agenda for next week, that we will vote on altering the number of members that can vote on a waiver? And that way it's posted for our next meeting. And then
Yeah.
we'll just take
Yeah.
a discrete vote on that one issue.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
and then
I'll
it's a
plan on
quorum,
that
so
and I'll look into it too to see if there's
so
any.
that's
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Jen, I think you cut out while you were still talking and then went back
no,
in.
that's
And
probably everybody's using the bandwidth. I was just saying, you know, I guess if somebody on the commission disagrees,
oh,
oh
I think you're muted.
oh
Yeah, it's probably.
that's me yelling for people to be quiet behind me. Sorry, I apologize. I guess if somebody disagrees, it doesn't really matter as long as there's a quorum to vote the regulation change. So
yeah.
I
Yeah. I
think
mean,
you know,
that makes sense, right? Like that's the point of quorum.
yeah, I think it makes
I mean, we could
sense.
also write it, I suppose, like that all able members, all voting members must vote in approval or something. Like, so like people who have accused themselves, that's one thing, but everyone must be in agreement versus a quorum of the people. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm right. Like, so if there were three of us that
Yeah,
could
yeah.
vote, or if one person recused himself, all four need to vote in approval, but one person can still recuse himself. And if we have four people and one recuses, we can vote with three. I don't know. That's another way to potentially do it
It's
if we
getting
want
too
to.
complicated.
Well, I
Fair.
guess the issue is if you only had like 2 people show up at a meeting, right?
We don't have a
Are
quorum.
we
We
gonna-
can't do business anyway.
No,
Yeah,
you're
that's
out of
true.
business.
So a
It's
quorum
gotta
of the
be a
members.
minimum of 3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's a minimum of 3 people voting to approve it, the waiver.
Unless we
can
jump, but unless we jump back down to 3 people on the board, not hoping that happens, then we're, in a problem again. Because if there's only 3 people on the board, we can conduct business with 2 people. Correct?
Yes.
So
No way,
I-
Andrew.
that would
We
be a
can't go
quorum.
back to 3 people.
I don't want that to happen by any means.
No.
It's
Yeah,
just,
so
I
it's,
mean,
it's like
it's
a quorum of the quorum
yeah.
is required to pass a measure. But so a quorum of 3 needs to be present, but then depending on how many are present, the quorum to make a decision at the meeting is different.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to make it overly complicated, but I'm also fine with it being
Quorum
like
of
everyone must
voting
vote.
members, a quorum of voting members.
I think it's a quorum, but maybe no less than 2 members. If a quorum at any given meeting is comprised of 3 members, right? Then you would need at least 2 to approve the waiver.
Right.
And that way we don't get into this situation where you have three people, I guess you always need three to conduct business. Is that what it is,
Yeah,
no
but
matter what?
you need three to vote on it, either, two.
Because
you get
that's,
two yeses and one no or whatever.
well,
I guess, yeah.
yeah, so because there's 5 on our commission, we need at least 3 in attendance to hold a
Yeah.
meeting.
That's what
But
I
then
think.
if only 3 are in attendance, we only need a quorum of those present to pass a vote.
Exactly.
So it's just a
Okay.
quorum of those present.
And
Yeah.
if somebody recuses themselves and you have two people voting and they split, then I guess you don't get the waiver.
Yeah, right. I guess.
You'd have, mm,
Bo, you wouldn't be able to have it with only 2 people voting because then you don't, if someone's recusing, they're
how
not
about
part
just
of
saying a
the
quorum of a
attendance.
minimum of 3 voting members?
I don't think we need to complicate it. I think a quorum of voting members or a quorum of those present, because if you're recusing yourself, you're technically not present for that
Right.
hearing.
Right.
Mm.
Okay.
So it's just how anything else works for voting on a hearing is what we're proposing rather than requiring 4 specifically.
Yeah. I guess what I was trying to get at earlier, and this might again be overly
Andrew, you keep jumping in and out.
is that anyone who can't, I know, I'm sorry, my internet's terrible.
Yeah.
If all 5 people are present, right? And we basically 2 people can vote no on it and the waiver can still get passed, is the way that we're setting this up. And that's what we want, is that we just need a quorum of the vote. We don't want it to be anyone who can vote needs to vote in approval for it to get passed. Okay,
not.
great.
Yeah, I mean, we could consider doing like a percentage, at least like say we need at least 70%. Like
Well,
if we wanted it to be more than a quorum.
yeah.
But
I guess
Why can't you just say
my
a minimum of 3?
well, no, I guess what I'm trying to get
Then
at is
all
that
5 can do it.
waivers are serious, right? So I feel
Exactly.
like I have this idea that like everyone should be in agreement that we're granting the waiver. And if any single person doesn't want to grant that waiver and they vote no, does that trigger a failure of the waiver? Or are we okay with people saying no, but the waiver still going out?
oh, I mean, we could
would think
do
like-
like a unanimous vote
Yeah.
of
Oh,
those
yeah. That's the
present.
word I've been struggling for. Is it should be
Okay.
unanimous of the voting members versus a quorum of the voting members. Sorry to complicate this. I
No,
just
that's fine. It's
No,
a
I
good
think
thing
that
to
makes
discuss.
total sense. But you only need a quorum present to be voting.
to have the ability to vote, but that vote must be unanimous for it to pass.
Why does it have to be unanimous?
Because if
Because
any,
Sorry, go ahead.
because if there's one person that doesn't want to grant a waiver for this, I feel like that should have some serious, for most things, one person can disagree and so be it. But waivers are another level, I feel. And
Uh-huh.
so, everyone should be in agreement that like, okay, we are bypassing our regulations. I don't want someone to be like, I don't think we should do that.
You're gone again.
Like it's a serious thing. And
I think
I
it
know.
makes sense.
I'm sorry.
It's because you're looking to actually alter the resource area. And
Yeah.
so it's not a de minimis thing, presumptively. And so it should require a higher threshold to obtain, or
Yes.
else what's the point? So
So then, okay, so then one of the people says, no, the people who are looking to get this waiver never get it. Because the
Yeah,
next
so
meeting
be
it's gonna
it.
come up and that's gonna be how it is.
Yeah, they get to really convince that 5th person that this is okay. And if that 5th person doesn't agree, then that's the way it is.
Isn't that now that's how it is now though, correct, right? It has to be unanimous? Or is
No,
that
it's
something
A
after?
5th person can disagree because we just need a vote of 4.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it also can't be less than 4, and that's kind of a real problem.
Yeah, because we've had
That's-
times when there's not even been 4
So
members.
if 4 of us are voting, Ben doesn't like it, and he says, no, the whole thing's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the quorum. I do. That's just my.
I
I
mean,
don't know
something
why
in
you let it
between would
cover
be
everything.
something in between would also be possible because we could keep it at being 4 out of 5 if 5 are present by saying that it needs to be at least 2/3.
That's what I was thinking. Like it shifts. It's like a sliding scale. If there's 5 members, 4 out of the 5 have to vote to approve the waiver. If there's 4 members, 3 out of the 4 have to vote. And maybe if there's 3, it's unanimous. I don't know. Or
Yeah.
it's,
Well, that's
2
what
out
I'm
of 3.
saying.
But
If 3 say it's okay, if 4 have voted, then it should be okay.
So if we put it to at least 2/3, then it would need to be 4 out of 5 or
You
3 out
need
of
4
4
voters.
or
You
2 out
need
of 3.
4 voters regardless. Unless we don't have 4 on the.
Yeah, so basically one
yeah.
person can say no. Okay, I'm okay with that. I like the idea that it's another level up from our basic quorum. Like it really, especially when we have 5 people, like if there's 2 people out of the 5 of us that do not think that this waiver should happen, that's pretty serious.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, sorry for complicating that. Yeah.
Ugh.
No,
Next
then
up-
we might end up
it's a
just
good
changing
thing
the
to
waiver
discuss.
anyway. I think we're gonna end up changing we're probably gonna revisit the waiver regulation anyway. And right now it's almost like impossible based on all of the different moving parts.
Yeah.
So, but at least we're getting it so that it's doable.
Yeah, so I think the 2/3 vote would sort of meet the intent of this waiver provision without making it difficult when there are less members present or able to vote.
Yeah. All right, let's go with that then. Let's draft that up.
Easy for you to say, Andrew.
I know.
Right away. Took us like months to do a tree removal policy.
Oh
What
my
the
God,
heck?
every time some strange word comes by us, it goes on and on and on. All right.
I appreciate everyone's time that they spend on these things.
We love you, Andrew. Now go home.
Okay, I guess we'll do the minutes, right?
Okay.
No, we're not done.
Oh,
Okay, Jackie, you want to comment on your regulations?
Oh, I think we just did.
yeah, I
Oh,
think that's
all right.
right.
So we're moving on to minutes then? Did anyone read the November 12th minutes?
I think
I
they were
did,
fine
but
with
I'm
me.
happy to defer.
I read them.
I'll make a motion then.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the November 12th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Did anybody second
We
that?
know
or-
what you meant. You just keep
Right.
cutting out. We know what you meant.
I'm gonna.
Who second those? Anybody?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Ben, very much.
I'll talk more
Okay.
soon.
And how do we vote? Dodge Shamrock, aye.
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to discuss, Jackie?
I'll report that I attended the Pie Rivers annual meeting last week, and I learned about a lot of great things happening in our region with different dam removal projects and restoration. So that was nice to learn from all the other towns in the watershed. Another thing that I went to a webinar this week where I learned about restoration, and something that came up was like cultivars versus regular native species, and that's something I feel like we might want to add to our standard conditions. I know other towns have it as a standard condition that restoration plantings be not cultivars because they don't have as much benefit ecologically to the pollinators and all those different things. So
Yeah.
now I understand why that is, because I learned about the benefits to the pollinators of which I mean, I knew that was the case, but now I really understand more about it. I feel more strongly about it.
The wild type version of the plant is what we want. It is
Right.
somewhat hard to justify that, given that we also allow something like dogwood, which isn't native. But
I mean,
that's,
there is a native dogwood
it's a shrub though.
species.
Oh,
Oh, maybe.
maybe. No. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
I'm
there's
fine with
also
dogwoods, don't get me wrong.
There's also some things that are debatably native because they live in like the southeastern US
Right.
as a native species, and like with climate change, they'll probably survive here now, and it's probably nice to plant things that will survive into the future.
Yeah. I mean, this like prickly pear cactus is native to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I mean,
But not this part of Massachusetts, I don't think.
Did
No,
did
I
you
think
say
there's-
Merry Christmas, Andrew?
I think it's
No, I'm-
more like on the coast, but
yeah,
I guess maybe we're
Massachusetts
close
coast. There,
enough.
there's like pockets
Yeah.
of it down in the Miles
Hmm.
Standish, I think.
Yeah.
Have you seen it in Topsfield?
No, but I
That's why I said Merry Christmas. We'll send you some.
anyway, I don't mean to derail us. I'm sorry.
No, I mean it's a good point. Yeah, it's like what is the native species? It's very
Absolutely,
like,
and that's the big question. And just for the record, I have no problem requiring that we use wild type and not cultivars. I'm in agreement.
yeah, or at least as a standard condition, but one that could be modified
Sure.
as needed if they can't find
Yeah.
it for
The
their
preference is for the
How
wild
hard
type.
is it to source? You don't want to put people into a position where they can't source plants.
Yeah, I mean, I know other towns like require it, so I can ask around and see if anyone's had trouble with that. But just something on my mind,
Mhm.
but that's it. All right, do we want to adjourn the meeting?
No one has anything else? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting at 8:30 PM.
I'll second that motion.
And how do we vote? Todd Shamrock, aye.
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Ben Kyla, aye.